So weird realization is we've never been the fruit. We've always been the tree. The tree created the fruit of football.
Ask a man who he is and watch what happens. He'll tell you what he does, his company, his title, the thing he built, but then take that away and who's left?
Football got ripped from me and now I'm not the guy anymore. You feel like you've lost your sense of identity. And that was what troubled me for a lot of years. I got to find that status again.
Anthony Trucks made it to the NFL, chased that identity his entire life, caught it, and then a blown shoulder ripped it all away. And the man who had everything lost his marriage, his health, and damn near lost himself. Here's what he learned crawling back. You were never the thing that you built. You're the thing that builds. This one's about who you are when the title is gone, and how to have the agency to intentionally become someone new.
And it was the biggest anger for me because I hadn't owned that I had the agency over it. I felt incredibly helpless and hopeless. My thought was, I have no control over making it better. That was the darkest lie. What I look back now in hindsight is, oh no, you had vast, deep control of it. But here's the hard part of this. To accept that you were in control and help lead yourself to a dark place is very hard to swallow.
I hope you enjoy this one as much as I did. Let's go. Anthony Trucks. Dude, you're sitting right across from me right now.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, real time.
Welcome to my studio.
Thank you. It's nice.
Welcome to my home.
Yeah, appreciate it.
My first question for you, and this is going to set the tone for the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
What do people get wrong when they think about identity?
What do they get wrong? A lot of things.
Yeah. Let's go down the list, man.
I think the one I think that they, so the first thing I think people get wrong is they assume that the identity is something that is arbitrary, floats around, it doesn't have an impact in their life. I think there's just this perspective of like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a thing. It's just an identity. It's actually a lot more. I also think it's not the gender aspect of what people call the world. Like when people look at identity, they think like, oh, it's what your gender identity is. Like, oh no, there's a base of who you are as a human, and that human is operating in a certain way. And the way it's run, its course is to be who you are today. And so, one, it's not arbitrary. It's very, man, it's the most intimate thing you have. And it's the complete connection between what you have and what you want, or the disconnection. So the way I'll explain it is my simple definition is who you are when you're not thinking about who you are. Your natural patterns, your habits, your paradigms, how you see the world. And so we run this thing all day long, but we're not even in control of it. The other part of it too is we have an identity that's controlling our life that we're not controlling or paying attention to. And the way it's happened is all of us, I think it's a neurological piece, I'll say. It's neurological in the sense of we've had an experience at some point in life, wired us a certain way, at a brain level, even a psychological level, and we run from this patterning every single day. And it's our habits, our patterns showing up in the world, and it's something that nobody paid attention to building. It's just there. Now, you can pay attention to building it, but most don't. And so I think what people get wrong is thinking that it has no big deal, no effect in their life, and two, that it's tied to some aspect outside of what it actually is, which is your life and your sense of self of who you are.
So how do you answer the question, who are you? And this is something I've struggled with before. When people say, who is Josh? I mean, we start podcasts with that. I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts. They say, who is Josh?
Yeah.
I always struggle with that question. I go right into, here's my family, here's my work, here's, what I've done, and here's what I like. But there's always something pulling at me inside. Like, it's not who I am.
No.
Who is Josh? So who is Anthony Trucks?
Here's the thing. I know what you mean by the question. So I'll answer the question, right? And but the thing is, I also know that it may take way too much time for most people to want it. Like, you're going to want to know about it. I'm going to tell you about it. Most people don't have the time for me to go into a whole different tangential conversation about it.
Okay.
But who Anthony is, I'm a man of faith. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and that's a priority. And then I'm a business owner. And when I say business owner, my business is built to serve. So I'm a servant. I think business is made to serve, not just me, but the people I serve, so I can sleep well at night with the money that I make to be able to do what I do in the world. That's who Anthony is. Now, if you ask me who Anthony is, like you said, behind the scenes there's somebody else that's always cooking. There's Michael Singer's book of The Untethered Soul.
Oh,
you got it here?
It's on my other bookshelf. Yeah. Overflow. I love that book.
It's a great book. And I remember when I first listened to it driving on a road trip during the pandemic of all times. I was like, this is great because it lets you know there's a separate you. Like this is the person I'm letting you see right now, if that makes sense, right? But it is me at the same time, aware of this guy. But most people, there's a person in the background that's like running things, saying, don't do that, don't look like that, don't say that, and that's the real you. But most can't let that person out.
Is this the difference between the me self and the I self?
Yeah. It's
Do you know what I mean by that?
yeah, it's a differentiation of like, this is who I am, and this is who, like, the me in a sense. But even more so than the me and the I, it's the aspect that you actually can't know, because there's a part of your brain that holds your identity called the default mode network. And in the back, it's a collection of different brain, places. But the idea is this: is there's a part of you that when you get to like daydreaming or you're floating, you're just kind of sitting there, that part lights up.
Yeah.
And like the way I can explain it is like, if somebody's sitting here with you right now, nothing's going on, we start daydreaming, drifting off. We'll see something, we'll have a thought or judgment or perspective, and it just fires off.
Yeah.
And that's who you are. That's why people say, like, old people, they just say what they want to say, because they're no longer processing. They're just kind of like, things just come out because they're not putting the filter on to change what it is. And so that's really the real you. But when I ask, who are you, that place shuts down. They did studies with it. They put diodes in people's brains and go, hey, just do your thing. Let them sit there. And they would just kind of, be thinking around and seeing stuff. And like, if they saw something, like the DMM would fire on and things would happen. They would stop and go, hey, tell us who you are. And it would shut down. And we go back into like our memory base. Because now I'm pulling from things that I think you want to hear about who I might be, that's important to you or beneficial to you or whatever it might be. And so I'm not actually giving you who Anthony is. I'm giving you who I think Anthony, the me, wants you to think I am.
Wow. Does the same thing happen when you try to answer the question for yourself?
Yeah, but it happens differently now than it used to.
Tell me.
Because no one likes to hate themselves. Right? So when I used to like ask a question, I'd be like, oh, but that's not my fault. You kick it outside of you, and you're protecting the identity. And it's mostly because the ego wants to be like, yeah, we're not bad. And so people go like, I'm not perfect. But the moment you present something they're not perfect at, well, the reason is I protect it. And so, yes, there's a difference there. But now I can go, yeah, I know parts of me I don't love and I don't like, and I can actively say, this is something I want to work on. And so I ask me, I don't have that separation, because the other part is when you tell yourself like, oh, I'm great, and you don't want to like hear it, you have that cognitive dissonance. Like, you really know. Like, if you're a punk, like, you're a punk. Like there's a part of you that knows that, but you don't want to accept that.
Sure.
And so most don't want to have that feeling because they can't sit with it. And at a certain point in time in my life, I found that was a very big hindrance to me being able to be the guy to give myself permission to improve. Because if I don't own that it's a problem, I won't accept it, I keep it in my life. I keep operating that way. And so my marriage keeps being what it is, and my parenting keeps being what it is. My body's still out of shape, or the business isn't running smooth. The moment that I can step in and go, all right, there's a part of me that is hindering the growth I want to have in life, and I can own that and realize it's not that I'm a bad person, but this part of me needs to be improved, I give myself permission to improve it. And I can work on it. I can elevate that space. So now, yes, I can be honest with myself, but there are 100% times in my life where I was not honest, and my life reflected it.
What are you honest with yourself about now that you didn't used to be?
The reason my marriage fell apart, for sure. It was, and I don't know how this full podcast will go, but there's parts of my life where we can unpack. But at one point in time, post-NFL, I was in this window of like, I came home and I'd lost the identity as a football player, but hadn't owned up to the part that I wasn't great. So I'm like, I'm the football guy still. I'm just going to go to this thing over here and run this gym. And I know what I was doing. I rented a space I shouldn't have rented. Yeah, I paid money I should have paid towards it. Next thing I know, I want to say 9 months into this business, I'm getting served with eviction notices to leave and to be evicted. And so I'm about to go bankrupt. At the same time, I'm at this gym business all day long from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. trying to get this thing off the ground. Really, I want to get that stature again. Men love status. I had none with no football. I want that status again.
Because it was tied to your identity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now I needed something to replace that. And so I was at the same time neglecting my wife and our kids. I had just had a 3-year-old and I had newborn twins.
In pursuit of this feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm at the gym trying to get this gym built up to get the feeling back. But my wife's at home from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. with a 3-year-old and newborn twins. And I'm like, I'm building the gym for our family to make money. And I keep telling her. I kept telling myself the same thing. In hindsight, I know it wasn't what it was. But I ended up getting this whole journey where I disconnect from her. Obvious reasons. And I wouldn't say that the choice she made is right. But I understand what took her to the point of making a choice. And so she ended up having an affair, broke my soul. I was suicidal, just because I grew up in foster care, so now my family's not there. It's one thing I wanted in my life. Talk about status being taken away. Your woman steps out on you. That's a whole different, as a man, thing that just robs of your soul. So now everything is gone. And so when I look back on it, I realize now that young guy, 26 years old, navigating. I was a kid having kids still, I was trying to navigate this whole thing, and I come from a crazy life, and so I didn't have these skills and talents. But at the time, I didn't realize who I was and how who I was had created what my life was. That dance hadn't connected until later on in life when I finally connected the dots.
What was going through your head? Like what was that? Okay, let's do what was going through your head and what was going through your heart or your gut in that time.
I don't know if it wasn't a perfect connection to the two.
Okay.
I would say if I go back and touch base to it, in my head, I'm tell myself that this is going to all work out, that she's wrong, that, and we'll call it this window of time and into the divorce. It's all her fault. How could you do that? I was just trying to build the business, but I was trying to convince myself of something that I had tangible proof was not working. I wasn't making money in the gym. It wasn't going to break through. It's the whole naive aspect of I can do it on my own,
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was your head.
This is my head. Yeah.
talk.
My heart was heavy in a sense of not joy. I remember, I don't know if you had the moments, but I'm sure you've had in life. If you get to this level in life, you've had the dark. And so the moments where you feel like you don't want to eat, you have this weight in the bottom of your stomach. I'd have rushes of cold feeling at night.
Got goosebumps, man. That's where I keep mine too.
Yeah, it was just gross. I don't know, gross isn't even the right word. I don't know if I can find the word.
It's not impactful enough for what the feeling was.
Yeah, it was not me. It was from the opposite. Think about the juxtaposition of that was an NFL helmet running on a football field with the crowd cheering. And then this. Yeah. It's and so the dance of it was my heart was just heavy and empty. And I was a leaf in the wind. No idea what to do. And no idea what action to take, action not to take. And also, what's even worse, man, is when you do well, people don't mind you doing poorly. It almost gives them peace to see you doing poorly. So people in town, people around, they don't want to support and help you. So on an island. So not only that heavy feeling, but very lonely. And so then from there, you rob me of the feeling of a family at home. They had nothing. That was, so the heart of it was just a solo, just ship in the night who'd made this life, kind of fall apart in some way, not knowing how or why. But what's worse about it was because I hadn't owned that there was any part I hadn't, and this is the thing that was the biggest anger for me, because I hadn't owned that I had agency over it, I felt incredibly helpless and hopeless. And because I thought I had no agency, my thought was, if this is what's going on, I have no control over making it better. That was the darkest lie, which was because I did nothing. That was done on me. Therefore, that could happen over and over and over again. Why even try then? I have no control. What am I going to give the effort for if my effort turns into this? That was the dark part of it. And so what I look back now in hindsight is, oh no, you had a vast, deep control of it. But here's the hard part of this. To accept that you were in control and help lead yourself to a dark place is very hard to swallow. For a man or a woman to go this life that sucked was, I wouldn't say at my fault, but was my responsibility. I didn't make some adjustments. You got to swallow that pill. And it takes you this almost a deeper depth of dang, not only did it happen, it was on me, but then at the bottom of the hole was a little light that goes, but now you have agency and you can change things. And that was a catalyst to moving. But this is when I say dark work, this is the depths, man. It was a real dark place.
We're going to get into dark work. I'm super curious, what moves the needle, or what moved the needle for you to start seeing that, to start the transition from helplessness to agency? You mentioned a light.
Yeah.
What was your guide to that light?
Funny enough, I've been a man of faith for a lot of my years. It wasn't faith.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't. At the time, I was far from it, dude. There was.
What was it?
So there was a moment in time when I sent a text to my friends and family. So it was the middle of all the chaos, the marriage, the business not doing well. So imagine it was a perfect storm. I have this business that's not doing well financially. I have no money. My car, for some reason, the water pump was messing up, so I didn't even have money to fix the car. And my wife is stepping out on me. And then at one point she says something of I don't love you. And it was some weird thing. She doesn't even remember saying this, by the way. But it was something that she said where I was I didn't have her love. And it was I'd been together since we were 6, we're high school sweethearts, dude. That was my anchor point, gone. And I remember walking out of the house one day, and I go to watch Shelby. Her name was Shelby Johnson, Rick Johnson. They were clients of mine at this gym business. I was going to watch Shelby on a Saturday, go play soccer. So I drove out, and I remember just floating to this thing. And when I say floating, it's not like happy floating. It's like my brain was so in awe and the shock of the feeling of what I just heard that I was just moving in space. Like, like sometimes you drive somewhere and you forgot how you got there.
Completely disconnected, like dissonance from between your thoughts and reality.
Exactly, just floating. And I get to the game. I remember the game. I remember being there watching her sit with Rick and just kind of, like you're bringing the light. But the problem is I was pulling it from a place that had no joy. So I'm having to be the light, but I had nothing to give. So like any bit I had was being given in this moment. I remember just draining little bits. Went to my buddy Derek Diaz's house to watch a UFC fight. And at the fight, all my friends are there. Best friend Jason's there also. And we're all watching this fight. And the thing is, I get there and I go in and sit on the couch. I just remember watching the fights. That's it. And then the hours go by. It's like 10:30 at night. Fights are done. It's UFC fights. And I get up and I go out to the car. And I'm walking out to the car. It's dark. I'm by myself. And I didn't even realize what had happened. But I walk outside. My buddy Jason walks out. And he goes, Trucks. I go, what? He goes, dude, you didn't move for the last 3 hours. You didn't talk to anybody for 3 hours. He said, you just sat there. I didn't realize, like I'd sat in one spot and stared at the TV screen and watched whatever was going down, like silent for 3 hours. And it was noticeable because I'm not a quiet guy. Like, it was weird.
Okay.
And I get to the car. Now, Jay is the only person who knows kind of really what's going on at the desk, best friend in the world.
Okay.
And he says these words to me, and I tattooed it right here. He says, this is your reality. And it was like this, all of a sudden, this centering of like everything just hit me in the chest. And it was like, and what he was saying is like, he said it, but it was kind of like this, dude, just, like you're floating. I can see the separation, but this is your reality. You gotta face it. And so I remember getting in the car and like, I've now known this, that the brain can't always differentiate between physical and emotional pain sometimes. And so I just felt a physical pain that I could not get to stop. Tears just came out of my face. I'm breathing, like I just snot, all of you could imagine, the full blubber cry driving. And then in the moment of like the heat of the pain, the peak of it all, because I never honestly faced it. Like I'd been going to the gym and like putting the show on, but it was there, but I hadn't addressed it. And so I sent a text to my friends and family and said, please tell my kids who their father was. And so I drive off, I'm looking for rat poison of all things.
Rat poison?
Yeah, I don't know why. I was like, I can consume it and be done.
Tough way to go, it sounds.
I don't know. That was the thought. I couldn't tell you why. I didn't want to shoot myself. I had a gun, but it wasn't with me, thankfully. And then I was like, I don't know what pills to take. I'm like, but I know rat poison does it. I just don't know what it feels. I don't know. My brain went there. So I'm like, I'm going to drive and find a store. And it was 10:30 at night. So no stores were open that had it, thankfully.
Yeah.
I drive to this town called Stockton, California. It's like this, it's probably about 45 minutes from my home. And I ended up like not finding anything. I park in this parking lot at a gas station. I'm just sitting there. I'm just kind of like, just keep in mind as it's going, like, how things little by little they subside, little by little that gets less and less painful. So the pain's going, but like an hour out, like it's a little less painful. And so I get to the spot and I'm parked in my car and I'm just kind of just staring out the windshield. And I don't know what to do. Like I've sent this text message to my friends and family and no one knows where I'm at and no one's just gone. I turned my phone off too, which was even worse. And so I'm just out there. And then at one point I turned my phone on because I needed to see what time it was. Turn the phone on and then within 20 minutes, the police roll up. And so I didn't even answer the text message. As you can imagine, there was more coming back. I didn't want to answer them. And so I didn't know what to do with this moment. Police roll up and they go, hey, what are you doing? How, and have a whole conversation. And by this time, I'm able to kind of like make this kind of story up about like, oh, I'm fine. My wife and I are going through some stuff. And so I convinced them that I was fine. And they said, just go home. And so I drive home and I didn't know at the time, but what had happened is the GPS, so my phone turned on, and my wife had obviously told the police where the GPS was at, and it tracked me down, and they found me where I was at, and I didn't move, so it was good for them. I get home, and I pull up to the house, and there's like 40 people out front. There's all these friends and family that are all like looking for me, and they convened there, and I think that they saw the GPS moving towards the house. They all wanted to make sure I was okay, so they all came back to the house. I remember getting out of the car, and just like, I didn't have the ability to process all the shame I felt. And at some point they had called like an ambulance, like a 5150 they call it. And I get there and I'm kind of like, my dad walks up and doesn't say any words. He just kind of gives me a hug. And then I could not go. I don't know how to face these 40 people, friends, colleagues, teammates, family, just all standing there looking like not knowing what to do. And the ambulance pulls up and I say, can I just go with you guys? They're like, that's the weirdest 5150 ever, but like, let's do it. Yeah, like they don't ask. And I'm like, I said, I'm fine. I'm not like really, there's no mental issues. Like I got to get out. I can't face these people. And I drove off with the ambulance, and all that took place on like a Saturday, obviously. So there's no playbook of how to go back to life.
No.
There's none. So Sunday goes, I have clients on Monday. So I go back to the gym on Monday, and Richie Beltram's a friend of mine. Richie's a guy I played high school ball with, and he's a good dude. And Richie pulls me into the back office, and very raw conversation. He goes, first off, never do those shit like that in your life again. I was like, my bad. He goes, when I found out what had happened or was going on, he says, I actually physically threw up because I thought I'd lost a hero. It was weird. This is where he asked the light question. This is where it kind of, for the first time, poked in. And I go, what are you talking about? Like, I'm Anthony. I'm just your dude. He goes, no. He says, I wish I would have told you this earlier. We all should have. He says, but we all know the life you've lived, which is the giving away at 3 years old, the foster care journey, and all this nuances of my childhood. They go, but you're the guy that made it out here and got the NFL, and you came back and gave us jobs. He's like, dude, you are living a life that people admire. We just don't tell you enough. And he says, you have done something, almost an accident, that has served us. He says, you need to be around here. Like, so that was like, it was a first weird little seed of this one thought, which is maybe the crazy had a purpose. Maybe all the life that God had put me through and subjected me to, the statistics I beat from just even foster care, even to the NFL, to all these little nuances, like that all was a thing where like, maybe there's a reason. And so I had this little thought, which was planted by Richie, but had never been seeded, of maybe my life could be useful to share with people. Had no idea when or how. I was clearly not in the window of time to be talking about being great and happy in life. But that was the first light. And that was the only time I can look back and go, like, in that moment, I have my mom and, my wife and everything going on, but like, we're still at odds. Like, I still get divorced from my wife, and the business still is going over the place, and it's hanging on by a thread. That still took place for a few years, 3 years actually. But that was the little light in the bottom. Was like every time things got worse and bad, I'm like, maybe it'll be better for a story later, maybe better in some way later. Like, and it would, even now in hindsight, like I have moments of I call it thought experiments, we'll call it, of like, what if I did and my kids didn't have dad? And that's the thing that breaks me. Like, that's really like the deeper, like if I go there, I can get like uncomfortable, but I don't have that thought experiment. But for me, the light, if I'm being honest with you, it wasn't them, and it wasn't my mom, and it wasn't my wife. It was a thought that maybe all this shit was like for something I can't see yet. And so as I faced more of it, it was just like, maybe, and it was, I guess you can call it hope of possibly, but it wasn't at any point in time an intention to speak or to teach. Or this all happened in like 2010, 11. I didn't even know Tony Robbins existed until 2014. Like, that was when I found out this whole world, like Brendan Burchard, these guys exist,
Yeah.
So you got to think, like, back then, I have no framing of what to do with this all. I'm just like, maybe I could just keep being a good guy for the rest of the world. And so that was the seed of light that for some weird way was planted in me by a guy named Richie Beltram.
Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned maybe it'll make an incredible story. Well, it did.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, it's part of the plan somehow.
It's funny that you mention your tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, this is my reality. Is that what it says?
Yeah, it says, this is your reality.
This is your reality.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the poem Invictus?
I've heard of it. I don't know if I probably have heard it, but I don't recall off the top of my head right now.
It's by William Ernest Henley. Mm-hmm. It's really short. And yeah, the last two lines of this are like the most famous two lines of any. It's I'm the master of my fate and captain of my soul. Yeah. So I want to read this real quick, just for the audience, because I read this for the first time this morning before you arrived. And then here you are saying, this is my reality.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to explain the context behind this poem and why it kind of relates to what we're talking about. So it goes like this. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Many people don't know when or why he wrote this. He wrote it when he lost his legs, sitting in a hospital room, wondering if he was ever going to walk again or if he was even going to live. But it's not about circumstance. It's about his response to it. And so when I listen to the story that you just told me, you have that in common with Henley. It's about your response, which I'd venture to guess is why it's now tattooed on your body.
Yeah.
Because we can't control the things that happen to us.
Never.
But we can control what?
What you do with it.
Exactly.
How you respond to it all.
That's amazing. What is dark work?
Dark work's a lot of things. And I'm trying to think of like, there's the marketing language you use, right? This is like when you show up like elevator conversation. Dark work really is. It's the unseen, unsexy, like I don't know, difficult, honestly misunderstood and sometimes ridiculed work you do behind the scenes when nobody's watching, so that when you're in front of the scenes, in the light, you're undeniably great at what you've chosen to give effort to.
Where did I just hear this line that what we're praised for in public, we pay for in private?
100%. It's where it's born of. It's really what, at the end of the day, there's this thought that people have, which sucks. I was having a conversation today with our clients, is there's this desire for everything to be new and fast and quick and easy. And like we seek this, but there's something called the effort paradox, which is, it's actually a Korean neuroscientist figured it out. But he says, as human beings, we don't like to do hard things. Like we will choose to do hard workouts, right? But there's that part of your brain, like the mid-cingulate anterior cortex, I believe Huberman talks about, which is grown from doing things you don't want to do. It's the willpower part, but like it's the things that are done behind the scenes. What happens, people want the easy. But what's interesting is the thing that all of us value the most. Like I'll ask you, what you've built as a career and a life. You're proud of it, right?
I am.
How easy was it to create sustaining of this?
It
right?
wasn't.
Yeah, no, that's an understatement. We'll call it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't. But that's the thing. And so it's like, well, interestingly, we'll avoid the hard thing, but we have the most pride and joy around the things that were hard to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so dark work for me is it's like a reconnection back to the roots of who we're supposed to be as humans. Because who I am as a human is not the identity we talk about. It's not born of ease. The people we have the most admiration for, we're enamored by how they do what they do. The artists, the actors, the whoever they are, whatever, anybody great in this world, when you really sit down with them and like you get behind the scenes, the way they function, what they've done, most human beings cannot fathom doing it. Statistically, it's why there's 1% of them that do it. And so the way I even like another way it can make sense is this, is to understand the concept of it. When I look at people that talk about like never meet your heroes, right? They don't ever meet your heroes.
Yeah.
A long time I thought about this. Why would I never meet my heroes? You're talking about, they're always mean. They're disrespectful and rude. And I go, oh, well, why? Let's think about why. Who do you admire? Let's say Michael Jordan. Okay, so we admire Michael Jordan. So you want to be around Michael Jordan. You want Michael Jordan to have a blast with you. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, would you say we went back in time? Were both of you guys maybe the same age, say athletes, both working? Yeah. What did you do? You become a professional basketball player? Well, no. Why? Well, I start hanging out and drinking stuff. Okay, drink with your friends, partying. Jordan wasn't doing that.
Right.
Jordan hunkered down. He went to the court. He shot hoops all day long. He would dribble. He'd practice. He'd learn plays. He'd work out. He was, same thing. Take Kobe Bryant, same kind of thing, right? Progress that forward a bunch of years. This person's been so locked in that the world knows them. And you come in who couldn't hold a candle to the effort, the discipline, the consistency, your humanity it pales in comparison. Not the basketball trait, the humanity. Why should I have to like you? You're everything I don't want to be. And the only way I got there was because of the work I did in the dark. And it's because of that work that I feel confident and comfortable to be in this space to show up in front of the world on Game 7 NBA Finals and get to show up the way I do. And so that's something everybody wants. I want that fight, that dog, that fire inside of you. Like I want that in the moment I want it. But you don't get that if you don't do that work. And because I did that work, I get that in this moment. That's why you know me. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about everybody anybody knows in some level, but we've all done this gritty, difficult, crazy stuff in the background. That's why when we show up to the light, not only have we achieved something or figured the skill set out, there's a different dog in us to fight to make that not have been a waste. And that's what dark work is. It's not just work you do, it's a rewiring of your complete identity to where who you are now, you almost can't, it's like it's night and day from who you were 10 years ago. Not because you wanted it to be, because you willed it to be through work you did when nobody was watching. No hand. Hormozy talks about it. He goes, in the beginning, it's an auditorium that's empty. It's just you. Nobody cheers for you when you need them to, he says. It's you in a silent room cheering for yourself, clapping for yourself. In fact, if anything, there's boos from the crowds. What are you doing, idiot? That's not what you do. Like, they make fun of you. And then at some point in time, you succeed. And now they want to clap and they want to cheer. I don't need it now. Like, thank you, but I don't need it. I need it. I got it from me. I don't need it from you. And when that becomes a way you can function and work, and you can, I'm talking really fall in love with the fact that I need nobody to actually give me the praise to keep pushing, you become dangerous. Like, positive way, but dangerous, because you're now unstoppable. You have a different sense of what's possible, what you don't, I won't let people affect me. I think Deion Sanders says, if you didn't help build me, why would I let you help take me down? Like, I don't need your praise. I don't need your negative. Nothing you can say is going to bring me down because you didn't help build me up. I did that. And it's people call it arrogance, but I go, no, that's the most beautiful confidence in the world. And we all need that because of those ways people function, they create this beautiful experience of life. The technology we're sitting in right now was for some guy we don't even know, or girl, right?
Yeah.
Creating things in the dark, behind the scenes, and blowing things up and burning things and making stuff and wasting money and time, but they made it. And now we can even do this. And that, for me, is the beauty of our world.
Does going that deep into something behind the scenes require passion?
No. Requires curiosity first.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Passion is an interesting process, I think. I'll say this, the path we all look for is purpose. I thought we're trying to get the end destination of purpose. Do I know what I'm supposed to be here doing? I believe it's something people want, but they don't realize it's a gift you have to earn. It's wrapped in barbed wire. Like, it is something you got to fight through to figure out. I think what it is, we live in this world where people don't want to be seen bad. We don't want to be cast out from our tribe. So we want to stay in a space where we feel comfortable and people feel comfortable with who we are. Because the moment you step out of that thing, crabs pull you down from the bucket. But passion is an interesting thing because I think passion has a precursor of curiosity. We have in humans inside of us something called an investment bias. When I give to something, I want to return. Mm-hmm. I believe that curiosity is that investment. I see something. What is that thing? A podcast? What do people podcast? What is that like? Like cameras? I got to buy cameras. How do you make a good podcast? What are the questions you got to ask? How do I research and get? Like, I'm talking about you, obviously. Yeah. How do I do this thing? Myself as well. How do I do these things? And now what happens is I'm giving uncounted hours to something. Because if someone tells you you have to go do it, you're like, oh, look at the clock the whole time, right? Yeah. Or there's times when I'm doing something, you got to pull me away from it. Sure. Like I want to get curious because when I get curious, I'm now giving, and the investment return, I'm passionate about it. I want to see it win. I can't wait, right? So it's this thing that I have to be okay enough to look stupid enough to invest curiosity into it, which is something most won't do by figuring it out and talking about it, right? But it comes back as this, man, I'm passionate about this. Like, I'm excited about this. You'll even tell your friends about it. And here's the other part. Once you are passionate, you got to keep talking about it. And some folks will get passionate about it and they go, man, Bill, you're tripping, bro. Shut up, man. Susan, you're crazy, Susan, right? But those people that go like, fine, I'm crazy. And you keep doing it. Now you find you step into on the path. I say you step into a pothole of purpose. You end up in that place where you've gone the journey that so few will go because you got curious. You figured it out, which led to a sense of passion about this. And I kept giving to it passionately. And I found this beautiful gift I gave myself by unwrapping the barbed wire, because this is barbed wire, right? To go, this is why I'm here. That's what I'm meant to do. I wake up with a different sense of, like, we're talking about when I got here, I said I'm tired, right? But I'm not tired in a sense of like fatigue and like workout tired, like just from giving. But it's a fulfilled giving. Like it's a peaceful tired. So I don't mind giving the energy out, but it's because I have a purpose. And when I'm giving to that, it actually fills me up as I pour out. And there's a space that I wish I could just give that to somebody, but I also wish I can't, because I want you to earn that. Because when you do, it's so much more valuable.
So where's the intersection then between passion and identity? I ask this, let me preface this a little bit. So you start doing something and you're curious about it, and you get deep into it. It becomes a passion. You work on that thing for 20 years. It's part of you now.
Yeah.
but you're not feeling the same pull you did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you then?
Yeah, it's a good question that I had to answer with football.
Okay.
Because football was gone, that happened.
Okay.
13 years given to it. It was a distinction that was a good metaphor that I randomly came up with on a different podcast. I made it in my book at one point, but here's where I answered that exact question. Because you do give to something, and it becomes you, who you are. The problem is, it's not, and it's an external piece. And if it gets removed, you feel like you're nobody. You feel like you've lost your sense of identity. And that was what troubled me for a lot of years. I think that's what led to the marriage falling apart. All the craziest because football got ripped from me. And now I'm not the guy anymore. I got to find that status again. The metaphor I use is this. It's like football was the fruit of my labor. Beautiful red apple. And it fell off the tree. Hit the ground, rolls around a little bit. Not like any apple, right? Or any fruit, you want to call it. It can roll around. Farmer can pick it up, put it in the truck, take it to the store, buy it. You take it home. It still lasts for a little while. It's still alive this whole time. It's good, right? Eventually, though, that apple rots. And it just decays. That's how the journey of losing that piece of you feels. Now, just so you know, this isn't something where it's just like football. Like I lost the game. Military, it could be lost, but also it could be the choice. Sold the business, left the job, started the business. When you wake up on some day and you could no longer do what you were so used to doing every day, that's the gap you start to feel. It's an identity gap, I call it. Like, I don't know who I am. I feel this space. And it's all because that piece of fruit rotted. And it died. And then here's what I came to find. It's a weird realization is we've never been the fruit. We've always been the tree. Always been the tree. The tree created the fruit of football. And when I turned my back to the tree and just looked at the piece of fruit, well, yeah, the marriage fell apart. I was in the worst body shape of my life when I owned my gym. I wasn't even training at the gym anymore. My kids didn't have a present father. Why? Because football was a thing that I felt I'd lost. So the tree died. All the other fruits died. But
because you were focused on the fruit.
One piece of fruit.
Okay.
When I turn back around and go, oh, I made that. I, as a human being, my identity, I created that. What if I go back and take care of the tree? And if I do so, maybe it's better. And sure enough, when you take care of the tree, you can produce sweeter, more abundant fruit in your life. Like I love the game of football. My son plays it. I love watching. I love the game. But my life now is vastly more enjoyable than it was playing football. Because you spend in any given year as a football player, 3% of your time actually playing the game. 97% of the game is at practices you don't want to be at, film that's drudgery sometimes, coaches telling you suck, we're going to cut you. Like, it's just a dance that is not fun. I just saw a video today I sent to my son about this dude who got cut by I think the Cowboys and the Colts. He's like, you got to be different when you play this game. Because you could think you've been doing all the work and dialing in, and some guy in a suit who's ever played the game of football tells you can't work on a team, and they send you home and you got no job. Like it's like the mind for that. It's not fun. Like the game's fun. Status is fun, but that's not. So I go now, I make more money, I have more time, I save my body, better control. I get to meet and talk to cool people. That game's cool, but but it's only because I went back and took care of the tree. So the separation is to go, when you're doing the work you're doing, it's a sharpening stone for your identity, but you're never what you created. You're never what was born of you. You're always going to be who you are. And so we can have the same personality traits, but I played football and you built a business, right? Just CEO of a business, right? There's people that could I just played the violin. I was just a skydiver. I was just a mom, right? If you are in life and life provides for you the moments in life to sharpen you, you can develop all the same intangibles. There's ways to get it, but that's good. That's the human part of it. Most people identify, unfortunately, with the thing they made. And when the thing you made or the thing you do stops, you can't find the sense of self anymore.
So how do you find the sense of self?
Fall back in love with you and you realize that's all just extensions of you. It's really it. I mean, I say it flippantly.
Like a practical thing that somebody could listening to the show. Like,
oh, perfect. So we'll get to we'll make it like psychological, metaphorical.
Okay, sure.
We all have a path of things we want to do.
Yeah.
And we all have different desires and goals and aspirations. Like my vision and my goals will be different, your vision, your goal. That's how it's supposed to be. But what I end up finding is that in the path to that, there are certain things that pop up. Things that pop up are the moments that allow us to get the opportunity to sharpen ourselves. And it's a big thing I make sure I anchor down is like, it's the thing you have to force yourself to do, because when you force yourself to do it and you can't do it, the getting better at it is the thing that makes you better. And it goes eventually from being something that's hard to do to, I don't know how to not do it. It's just who I am to do it. That's the repetition of it all. And so the piece of it is when you find the thing on the path you want to go to that makes your butt pucker, like, I don't want to do that. Why does it happen? Like if you told me, Aunt, I want you to go out and, I don't know, find a way to go mow a lawn. Cool, all right. I'm gonna mow a lawn. I don't know. I'm not a lawn mowing master, right? I don't even care. But if I ask a landscaper, hey, I need you to go mow that lawn, their brain goes, oof, okay, I can get this angle. Do it. Why? Because for them, that's associated with a great part of who they are. And they're going to do it to a level when they touch it. If somebody comes and goes, that wasn't done, they would feel bad. If you tell me I didn't do that right, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not a landscaper because it's not important to me. And so I don't have the same sense of butt pucker to do the thing I'm supposed to do. But in the area, if you go, Ann, I'm going to give a speech right now on this. Oh, hold on. Now, someone might be scared to give a speech, but if they don't do it well, they're like, whatever, I'm not a speaker.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the thing that I look at and go, in the path where I want, something's going to be important to do. And when I find the important thing, you're going to notice your body like, oh, and it's not that you don't want to do it, but that you're worried about how it might be seen if you don't do it right or well or whatever it is. And this becomes, for me, like very big notifications of do that. That's the practical way to do it. So to create the identity, I go, what do I want? What vision do I have? Okay, let's go do that. Let me go do the things. And oftentimes, you won't even know what it is. It's. I usually tell people like, hey, what would so and so do? Like, snap your brace. What would Jesus do? Kind of thing, right? It's like, well, who has what you want? Cool. All right. I want you to take a look at their life and analyze what it is. Don't look at it as if would I do that. Just look at it and go, what do they do? And you'll be taking notes. You'll find out there's a lot of things they're doing you're not doing. It's part of their identity to do it. You look at it and go, I don't do that. I don't write, scripts. I don't film videos. I don't do podcasts. Fine. Then you're never going to have that. But if you want that, here's the path. And on that path, it goes, dang, I gotta go and research this, and I gotta figure out technology and things, plug in work, and I gotta do. What if nobody likes the podcast? What if all of a sudden the feedback sucks? Right? Okay, it does. Then part of it's going like, that's not gonna be a good feeling. I'm gonna figure out why it doesn't work. I'm gonna go keep researching it. That journey of improving yourself is the sharpening stone for your identity. So I'm using a podcast example because we're here.
Sure.
If I was out with somebody, with my wife who does master's track, like I'll go run with her. If I don't do well, I don't care. Like I'm not a track athlete, but for her, like she's setting world records, like she's dialed in. And so the way that she looks at her day, what she eats, how she trains, like it's dialed in, and she's had her own sharpening stones. She has to find out what things are, and it's made her a better human. But if she couldn't run track tomorrow, it's not who she is. I love her the same. It's just what's the thing she does. She'd miss it. You'd mourn it because you can't do it. But at a certain point in time, I promise those intangibles would fly to something else, and she could find a similar joy in doing it. But that's where the thing is. It's the path you're on towards a thing you want that is going to present you amazing opportunities to be the best version of you.
I want to dig in on this something to prove. Is that a sustainable source of fuel?
Absolutely not. The prove to somebody else?
Yeah, you had just said it in the context of what you were saying is I don't remember how you worded it, but you said, having something to prove.
To an extent, I don't think it's a sustainable no, which I'm glad you pointed that out. If I did say that, I was incorrect in saying that as a specific piece. Here's why. Because when I was coming up, I was a sucky football player. And for me, I wanted in the beginning to be like, I'm better than you think I am. And so I would do it to prove you wrong. But then it was clear I was better than you. Well, now what do I do? And so it was this dance of like, oh, well, that can't be my fuel, because if my fuel is based upon proving you wrong, the moment you're wrong, I'm done. But what if I have so much more potential? And what if I have no fuel to push to that? And so for me, it's not a sustainable fuel. For me, it's setting a standard that is above and beyond. But you have to fall in love with the feeling and journey of improvement at a personal level, like not getting improvement to go, am I good enough? No. That's I don't care whether you think I'm good enough or not. I simplify it. You made a puzzle in your life. Everybody done puzzles as a kid?
Sure.
Yeah. When's the puzzle not the funnest?
I don't know.
When it's done.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's that simple.
But I felt like I was going to be wrong.
Yeah, right. When it's done.
Yeah.
When the puzzle's done, I'm like, dang, What am I doing? You might have been frustrated, fine. Where's the corner piece? Where's the edge?
Yeah.
But I'm in flow.
Yeah.
The moment it's done, it's like, all right, now what?
Cool. Now what do
Right?
we do?
Humans were supposed to create. We're supposed to do. We're supposed to build. We're supposed to be in motion.
Yeah.
I have a client with his message called Destination Journey. And I've loved that because it's tied to what my belief is, which is I believe the destination in life is to wake up in a journey you love. And so my goal for what makes me better, people go, well, how much is enough money? It's not about the earning of money. It's about the fact that my human standard of how I operate and what I love to do creates money. That's it. And it's like it could be something else. Like, well, when's it enough cars? It's not about the cars. The fact that I love working on cars and it's just a new opportunity to work on cars. I'm not worried about how many I have. I'm worried about can I love the process of working on my car, right? Whatever it might be. So ideally, it's this thing where the fuel is not going to be based on proving somebody wrong, in my opinion. I have found in my life, I love doing the puzzle of life. Good and bad. Even the bad stuff, it juxtaposes to make the good good. And so in that dance, like I have bad days and bad situations, things happen, people do crazy stuff, and it does suck. But then because that moment happened, at some point later on, I win, I go, man, it feels even so much better because that sucked so much worse. And so for me, it's just a matter of I fall in love with the process of doing life. And I have a personal standard for how I do things that I want to maintain and how I function. And if I do that, two things happen. One, I get more and more achievements. But two, I'd never lose respect for myself, which is a problem that people don't realize is when you lose respect, you lose love. And love's a key piece for self. I ask you, your wife and kids, would you sacrifice yourself for your kids?
Yeah.
I would take a bullet without a question,
100%.
right? Because I respect these people and I love these people. Let's say a stranger's walk down the street, don't know him, or even a guy you don't like very much. Taking a bullet? I'm not doing it. I'd be like, oh man, I gotta get home. You know? So why is this? I go because what happens is if I respect, I can love. If I love, I can sacrifice and do things I don't want to do that need to be done. If I tell myself I'm gonna get up and get this thing done, I don't do it, I lose respect for myself. If I lose respect for myself, I lose a love for myself. If I don't love me, I don't sacrifice, I don't push, I don't get things done. I don't feel bad if I lose out on something because I didn't love myself and I didn't care. It wasn't a thing. But if I say I'm gonna do this and I get that done, and I look in the mirror, I go, I love that dude right there. When the time comes, I'm like, I'm not letting you down, let's go. And I push more. And so these little nuances add up. And so when I say the standard I set for myself, it's like the standard's there, not to be like, I got a standard social media. It's to go, I wanna look in the mirror and love myself, so I'll push myself when I need to because I love me. And it only happens because I do the things that I have set for myself as a standard of my identity. And I also wanna up that bar so I can become the best version of who I'm supposed to be that God put me here to be. And I don't know what that is. I honestly will never know until I get up there. But my thing is, I don't want to leave this place and go, I wish I would have, what if I want to do it. If it's in front of me and it gets me curious, I rock with it.
What's the real meaning of loving yourself? There's a lot of shit that gets thrown around today about what that actually means and how to go about it. And I get the feeling, not generalizing, but I get the feeling that most people just don't know how
to
love themselves.
Love themselves. There's a verb and a feeling. The verb is the thing that leads to the feeling. I think there's always this, the action creates the emotion. Like this is something I learned in my marriage when it was like not where it was supposed to be. And think about this. You have kids, which is good that we can have this conversation. You guys have kids too, it'll make sense. When kids come out, all they do is cry, poop, sleep, pee on you. It's not fun.
Yeah, right.
But I have a depth of love. Why? I don't know why is this. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. And I go, oh, because I'm giving with love. When I give with love, I'm actually experiencing the emotion as well. It's not the same way people think. So when I give to something, I create this loving emotion. It's in the marriage. Like if there's ever been bad points, how long have you been married?
14 years.
You've had it. Okay, which means the shitty parts you've had. Yeah, you've been long enough.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, right? I have. My wife and I got divorced. We've been remarried now 10 years, 3 years divorced.
Yeah.
And so I say this to go, like there's times when there's this journey and what ends up happening is I for sure didn't love her. She didn't love me. And it's because you didn't do this, so I didn't do this. Well, if you didn't do that, I'm not going to do this. You do it, and it's a negative cycle of people just, well, you didn't give me, so I'm not going to give you. And I don't have love. I don't feel loved. I don't feel love. And so there's a great movie, it's old school, called Fireproof Your Marriage. And it says, give 30 days and just do these things for your wife. And this guy does them. And it's like the first couple of days, she's like, you know, she thinks you're lying, you're crazy. And but the thing is, he doesn't want to give these actions. He doesn't want to do these things. And she thinks he's making these lies up because they're the depth of the stuff, right? So all this stuff's going on. And fast forward 30 days, they're back in love. Now I'm going to give you the kind of gist of what it is. Even when you don't want to give, eventually you give the loving feeling and you go, man, I'm giving this, I want the return. You don't get it at first, but you start giving it. So I feel like, okay, I'm entitled to it, but then I start feeling like I'm giving. So I feel a little bit of it kind of tingling, right? They don't give it back just yet. It's still negative, still one-sided. But eventually this person goes, man, either they're like trying to trick me or like maybe they are doing this. And so they start to feel guilty, the reciprocation idea. Like, you know, the monks that give you a bracelet, go give me money, the guilt. They go, I'm getting this. And it took like 15 days for the fun. They go like, maybe he's actually serious. And she was like, just said, thank you. That was the part to go back, just thank you. I gotta thank you. Oh, it feels good. So he gives again. And then she gives that. And then she's like, I feel good getting. And I say thank you. And I keep getting the love. And oh my gosh, if I give this, and I'll start spinning to be positive, right? It was this thing that he was feeling the love. So as he gave, I started feeling love as I give. And I started feeling loved as it came back. And so the dance of like loving yourself, I think, is like, I must give to myself with love. And when I say give to myself with love, it's like love is not always a nice thing either. And there's a misconstrued perception that people call tough love. That's real love.
Yeah.
If I've got something going on in my buddy's life, I'm gonna tell him the truth because I love him. Mm-hmm. You call it tough love, that's real love. Fake love is going, you're fine, but knowing he's not.
Yeah.
So giving to yourself love, going, hey, you need to stop doing this. I know I gotta stop doing it. You gotta stop doing it. I know eventually you stop doing it and go, hey, well done. I see you. Hey, I'm gonna keep doing this. And you don't want to let yesterday's you down. So I start doing this loving, I keep giving this action of love to whatever it is. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're amazing. Whatever you want to give to yourself, give it. Even if you don't believe it just yet, but keep giving it. And eventually it comes back. It's like, oh my gosh, and I feel good. And now what happens, I start acting accordingly. The idea is like, if you tell someone, like, I think Hormozy did this too, he goes, there's people that are trying to track down for money. And at one point they're going like, calling people like, you know, hey, you're doing it dead, but you're not giving money. And he goes, no, speak into that existence, the identity that they should have and go, hey, I know you're good to pay it. I just reaching out to kind of give you a reminder. I know you're going to take care of it. I know you're good for it. You're that kind of person. And they would start paying them back because they want to be that kind of person, right? So you give in a certain way, it starts to come back to you in a certain way. And the loving yourself becomes an actual verb before it becomes a feeling. And then when I'm having this sense of love and you start feeling that respect and that depth, I don't want to break that. And you know when you break it. Like, you'll feel when you break it. And if you're honest with yourself, because you love yourself, you won't try to go like, it's fine, and push it off and convince yourself of something so you can go back to sleep. You'll go like, no, I got to work on this. Like, I do a video every single day. I have not done it today, by the way. I just realized. But I've done it for 1,400.
Well, kind of. I mean,
it kind of, yeah. Sure. Well, it's for our podcast we do. My team's probably going to be very mad later. I'm like, it took all day to get it. Usually I do it in the morning. But it's a video. I think today was 1,460 straight weekday episodes. Wow. Prior to that was 1,333. We're like 9+ years daily podcast. It's like 7 minutes, a solo conversation about my thoughts for the day. And what I noticed was, when I got in, it wasn't a big deal to stop it. But when you get past like a couple hundred, a couple thousand, it's like, it's who I am.
Yeah.
I can't not do that. I will feel sick to not do it. It's not who I want. And I'm loving myself by getting it done. When I do it, I go, well done, Ant. Good job, bro. Like, that's who you are. And you start to align, because the biggest piece of all this, when it all comes to identity, is we're fighting, in my opinion, for a sense of identity that can tap in and be connected to our powerful connection to human alignment. Being who you say you are, being who you believe you are. Now, that works in both ways. If you think you're an idiot, you'll fight to be an idiot. Like, I look at the whole world we live in now, and it's like, this is kind of maybe it'll be a little bit of a weird thought to have, but people go like, all police are bad. I have 13 friends and family who are all police officers at high levels doing cool things. These people, all police officers are bad. They're horrible people. Defund the police. And I go, oh, okay, it's crazy. Well, why? Because they're mean, they're disrespectful. Interesting. So then I go, well, tell me experience. Well, I was at this one store and the cop was just being a punk. Tell me how it actually played out. Well, you know, he walked by and I kind of like, he looked at me and I just gave him a little like weird, oh, interesting. So you did something. Well, yeah, but he shouldn't have responded that way. I go, but pause. You realize that you have a story and an alignment in your head of all police are wrong. So what you didn't realize is you subconsciously did something to get an elicited response that could align with your belief you've told yourself, so you're in alignment. Because for me, I go, police are good. I have no problem with them. Like, I recently had a situation where my daughter's car broke down. It's like 10:30 at night, and I'm sitting on the side of the road waiting for the tow truck to get there. I'm just sitting there hanging out, and she'd gone home. I should have made her stay to feel it out. But she goes home. It was actually night. I didn't want her out there with me. So the cops drive by, and I look at him, and my initial thought was like, okay, cool. Like, at least he knows I'm here. Like, he eyeballed me, didn't know. But I could tell he was curious. What's this black guy doing? This white BMW sitting on the side of the road. It's kind of weird. Closes around, gets behind me, walks up. They both walk up, and I roll the windows down. How you guys doing? I go, I'm good. My daughter's car broke down. Waiting for the tow truck. No worries. We'll just here to hang out with you. We'll be behind you. If you need anything, let us know. We'll just keep you safe. Phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Right? And it could, if I'd have been like, what are you bugging me for? Well, I'm just here. I'm fine. I'm not like, then it would have been like, sir, let me see your ID. Like, would have been a whole different conversation.
Sure.
They didn't even ask for my ID. And so in my head, I'm like, and these weren't even police that I knew. It was just guys. It was their job. They're on shift that night. Mm-hmm. And so in my head, people don't realize that what you create is the story you say. You will operate in a way to make it an alignment piece, and you will live your life to make sure that you stay in alignment, good and bad. So if you say things suck, you'll be sucky. If you say, hey, I'm smart, or I'm X and Y, you'll live in a way to make that story right. That's why I get out of bed. If I've ever forgotten the video, I will get out of bed to film that bad boy to make sure it's in. When I know I can get up, I can do it tomorrow morning. No, you can't. The day's closed. You would have not been yourself. So I got a line there. And the thing is this, people go, well, what if I don't have the alignment up there? What if I'm lying down here? Start taking the action. That's all you do. It's just do the action. Because the idea is in the beginning of it, you're acting out of character, out of identity. And most people go like, oh, I want to act out of character, because that whole language point somehow has been given such a negative connotation. The out of character is always bad. And I go, well, that's weird. My character when I was a kid wasn't a football player. I didn't lift weights and run routes. That wasn't my character. But out of character was lifting weights, running routes, catching footballs.
Yeah.
Made me an NFL player. That's crazy. It was out of character. Why is it bad, right? So the idea is if I act out of character long enough and efficient enough, over time you get effective and better at it, it now becomes your identity. And it happened overnight? Absolutely not. And it happens through a trudging through of sometimes months or years of doing things that people don't accept or approve. The football that I just told you, the first month I did that as a 15-year-old kid, freshman year of high school, wanting to be better at football for my team and teammates, my teammates were ridiculing me like crazy. Skinny Truss, what are you doing in the weight room, bro? Get out of here, skinny guy. You're going to break yourself. Hey, slow poke, get off the field. Hey, hey, Butterfingers, why are you catching the football? Wasn't my character. It was out of character. And if I'd have listened to them, I would have stopped. But I'm trying to get better for our team, right?
Yeah.
Next month, still doing it, you idiot. Third month goes by. Trucks, bro, stop. You suck, dog. Fourth month, still going? Fifth month, all right. 6th month, hey, Trucks, can I get a workout with you? Took 6 months to get these guys to realize that but that 6 months, I caught a football 500 times a day, ran routes every day, lifted weights 5 times a week, nonstop. You never didn't see me out there doing stuff. But that was what it took to rewire me, which could rewire them. And when you understand that process of doing something that's not who you are just yet, that makes your butt pucker, the journey is doing it that way until eventually it's who you are and what you do. And I can give you guys some beauty of all this. I call it the slide. The slide is this. At some point in time, you'll start doing something, you will suck at it. 10 of 10 of pain. You won't be normalized to it, but you know it's in the direction of what you want most. You do it first time, you come back, 10 of 10, it sucked. And most people, logical people go, oh, we're done. I sucked at it, not doing it anymore. Successful people go, I learned something though. So I go do it again. 9.5 of pain. What are you doing, bro? You stop. You a masochist? Why'd you do it again? I told you not to. You done now, right? You're not gonna do it again, are you, Trucks? Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I learned something. Bro, don't do it again. 9. See, I told you. You still suck badly at it, right? But it's going downhill. And you keep on doing that dance. 8, 7, 6, slides to 0. Now, interestingly, I used to think that 0 meant I could do it with painless, no pain, right? Mm-hmm. What 0 is actually ultimate joy. Knowing what I went through that you didn't to get what I got. Oh my, I can't wait to go do this thing. And I'm talking about it. I'm great at it. I love it. Football for me was a perfect example of that. I sucked. I'm not even kidding. My first year was 14 years old. My team has been playing some for 6 years. They know the game. I'm getting hit left and right. I suck at the game. But I went to work and I got better. It took 6 months of this, catching footballs, running routes, learning football, watching games, running routes, catching football, lifting weight, non-stop of doing this. And it went down and down. I kept trying, got better and better. Eventually, when I got to that point, I wasn't afraid of sucking on the field. Let me loose. Let's go to work, dog. Hey, put me on, coach. Put me in, coach. Like, I used to wear the sleeve. So if I had a black jersey, had a white sleeve. White jersey, black sleeve. I'm telling you, this is the only reason I did it. Back then, they go drip. It wasn't drip. I wanted you to know who I was. I wanted you to walk on the football field opposite of me on the other team. I wanted you to seek and find me, know who I was. And my game was pregame. We started at pregame. Every route, every crisp, every ball, catch every ball. If I'm hitting somebody, I'm putting my teammates on the ground. Because in my mentality was, I've done too much work in the dark for you to take what's mine in the light. I did too much prep. I put too much in. This is mine now. And it was a hunger. I was going to take this from them. But it happened because I started with doing stuff I wasn't good at. And I got to the point of having joy around doing it. I couldn't wait to get out there. And that's a gift everybody can earn, but most won't go down the slide.
So you're saying that your identity is malleable.
Very much so.
You shape that every single day
yeah.
by the decisions that you make.
100%. Very well put.
Is there a risk in doing it wrong?
Yes and no. The risk is only in if you are deathly afraid of what you stand to lose.
Tell me about that.
So there is a risk in not doing something.
Sure.
There's a risk of what potential I could lose and the things could go wrong. And so it stops a lot of people. What if it doesn't work out? And I go, yeah, but if it doesn't work out, you're not going to die usually. Skydiving maybe, right?
Yeah.
But outside, you're not going to die. And if you're so attached to how you look, that's a problem. We can't even talk about a whole different conversation to have per se. But the idea is I'll take a risk that may not work out because I'm more worried about the risk of what if I don't try it. But then, yes, you can risk it. You could try it. You can stumble. You could fall on your face 100% flat. But you're never going to stumble in that moment there being what most people think is like a worthless human. You have built so much more inside of you now than you probably ever had. So you can get back up faster and better and build better. And then now what happens is, this is my big thing. I don't identify with outcomes. I identify as the effort. Mm-hmm. It's been my saving grace. When I want to start something, I don't compare myself to the first number one person in the world doing it because that person's way down the line. If I do that, I'm immediately and always going to be like, I'm not that good. Yeah, I'm not that good. Neither were they at one point. Sure. But if I can identify as a person who goes, hey, I tried it today. I got the work done today. And just do that every day, naturally, you progress to that point. And then now you start the day feeling good because I got the work done. Whereas some people wake up every day going, I don't have a Grammy yet. I haven't built a business yet. I'm not worth 7 figures yet. It's all they're identifying with. Mm-hmm. And I go, but that's not your identity. If you get to a 7-figure business, you're not, hey, Mr. 7-figure business. You're still Bill, so build you. And the way you do it's by just falling in love with the process of doing and identifying with the work every day. So you can risk losing the thing and failing at it, but you really never do if you realize that you are the thing. Yeah. And that's just a thing that you tried to do that didn't pan out, but it doesn't detract or rob you of you.
So help me understand this. We all approach crossroads in our lives where we have to confront our own identity.
Yes.
Yours was with football. Mm-hmm. That was forced on you.
Yeah.
What if it's not? What if
you choose it?
What if the light dies and it becomes a struggle for somebody because what was their identity for so long? Let's go back to this 20-year example.
Yeah.
They start to feel like maybe that's not it. Mm-hmm. But letting go of your identity feels like death.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like so you have this inner tennis match, this dichotomy that's saying, I don't know if I want this anymore, but I don't know if I'm right about that.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I totally get it. There's it's great. I've had all these conversations before, which is awesome. Yeah. I had this exact same internal thing. Because at one point I was like, I'm the football guy, and I got rid of that. I was fine. I was the gym guy, right? And I was doing that. And then at some point, this idea of being a speaker came up. Mm-hmm. Same thing you're talking about. I'm the football and the fitness guy. Yeah. That's all I've done. I've had the gym for this. Before I was fitness, I'm going to go talk on a stage. But my heart, for some reason, was curious and liked the idea. But then I was like, but I'm not no more fitness? What if who am I without that? Like, really was the feeling. I totally understand that. And then I started finding myself waking up every day going, I don't want to go to the gym. Not because I have other stuff. It doesn't spark my interest anymore. And so this was a thought that I didn't know how to battle. Eventually, I was ballsy enough to step out and build this thing. But I never solved that until I had a conversation with a guy, I think his name's Turbo, from the American Gladiator show back in the day. I think it was Turbo. One of those guys, Turbo, man, I don't know, their names are crazy. I think it is Turbo, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, we're having the conversation, and somewhere in the thought of having a discussion, he says something that was very interesting, and I actually went and did more work after. He says, action ends suffering. I was like, what do you mean by this? He goes, well, we all suffer at some point. Well, all we do when we sit there, most of us just sit still and we pout about it. We do nothing. We just sit there and let it cook in our brains, and it just gets worse. He says, but action creates clarity, creates motion, and motion changes emotion. So clarity comes. Then at some point, I'm making motion. He says, it may not even all of a sudden end the suffering the first action. It might take 20 actions, but you're in motion. The motion changes the emotion. As opposed to most people go, I'm gonna go through the same paces and just do the same thing. And maybe one day I'll wake up and feel, I'll fall back and love my wife one day, and my business will make me light up again. It's not. It's not gonna happen randomly. You have to put motion into something and take an action in a direction that usually you haven't taken that can end your suffering. If not, you'll just sit there and I had a good friend who's in the middle of like a relationship that he had married, wasn't happy in the marriage. And he just kept complaining about it. And bro, this is going on. I go, have you ever told your wife how you feel? No, it caused a fight. Okay, all right. I just left it there. I didn't say anything. Life keeps going. I think it was like a month later. Same conversation. Have you told her yet? No. I go, it's your fault. He says, what do you mean? I go, this is your fault now. Well, it was not my fault. I said, if you haven't said anything to her that would make her possibly know, do you think she's a mind reader? Well, no. I go, then you're battling this thing. You weren't even giving her information that could potentially adjust this. Therefore, you are actively keeping your situation the same by no action. Talk to her. You got to say what you got to say. But she's not going to, I don't care. I said, but if you keep coming back to me and just complaining, but taking no action to end the suffering, dude, it's on you at this point. It's your responsibility to change it. He finally did. Now, keep in mind, it's a guy that he didn't want to have kids. He just didn't see it. And he eventually made this conversation, had a divorce. And I'm not a proponent of divorce, by the way. That wasn't what I thought was going to take place. It just took place. He now incredibly happily remarried, got kids. Like, he loves his life. And he's like, at one point, I didn't want to have kids. I didn't realize I just didn't want to have kids with her. And so the dance was this whole conversation of like, looking back, going, we just have to at some point take an action in a direction that makes our entire stomach want to turn inside out. But we know we're supposed to do it in our gut. And people, if they're sitting in that place in a silo, I will say, go find other people to provide perspective. Because sometimes you don't know the action to take.
Yeah.
And I go, perspective precedes enlightenment. Aha moments. I can only see it this way. But at some point in time, like if we're both looking at my hand, I go, my hand's white. You're like, no, you're black. No, my hand's white. No, it's black. Oh, it's a little, it's like perspective. Oh, okay, I didn't know. The perspective changed. I can go, oh, I didn't look at it that way. And I can now take an action direction. So I say, most of us men don't do this. Talk to people that you trust and say, hey, that's what I'm going through. Can you give me a perspective I can't see on this? And good people, if you have them in your life, most people do, hopefully, they go, oh, you try this. And it's like, that's simple. And you try it. It's like, holy crap, that's it. But I never would have done that thing if I didn't get the insights to do it. It may not be fun to do still, but the action, it can help change your entire perspective, which gives you motion, which creates a change in your emotion. Hope comes in, a little more fire comes in. But if you keep doing the same thing and don't change it, it's like you're going to keep feeling the same way. It's just logic. But people don't connect the two usually.
So action is the antidote.
Always
do
is.
something. Just do something.
Yeah.
Move toward it. And in that process, I imagine, and if I'm looking back and being honest at my life and some of the decisions that I've made and some of the perspective shifts that have occurred, I can unravel that all the way back to action. I had to take steps, no matter how big or how small, towards something that I didn't know was a solution, that I just thought could be.
Yeah.
And in that process, both things have occurred. I had been wrong, which means I just changed the direction again.
Yeah.
And I've been right, which means I keep stepping in that path.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And simple.
And simple. Not easy.
No.
Not easy.
Never easy.
So what's next for you? What's the action that
I
you're
take-
working on?
Well, good thing is I'm not suffering.
That's good.
It's a good thing.
That is good.
There's this question I used to end my podcast with, which was, what promise did God make to the world when he created you? If you don't believe in God, it'd be like, what promise did the creator of the universe ever make when they decided to make you, right? And it's always been a dance of knowing that answer. It was presented by a guy that I know out in Florida, a good dude. And it was an interesting thing because I just met him. It was like we were on a phone call at Starbucks, and I sat down. I'm like, this is crazy, a question to ask. But when I looking back, the answer I gave him then has changed 5 times. It's and it's not to say that I'm trying to change it, but at that time I was like, I want to be the absolute best, business owner in the world at that time. Prior to that would have been like, my purpose was to be the best football player, then the best gym owner. But that changes. And so I lead up to now. And if you say, what's next for me? I want my kids to take over the show. The show's been about Ant for a long time. Like, it's been me in the football game and me in the world doing it, in the speaking stuff. And I love speaking. I love what I do. I want my kids to be the stars of life in our household, which is a weird thing. I don't want to give it to them. I want to earn it.
Yeah.
But I say this in a way of like, I want to create, I've created a beautiful life. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love it. But I don't need an outside world to validate absolutely anything for me anymore, which is an interesting dance because like I have to do social media and I have to do these things in a way I say have to because I want to touch hearts with this stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to keep impacting, but it's not about being the guy. Like, I'm not trying to be the dude anymore. In fact, if I do this thing right, I want to stack up enough consistent residual revenue to where, like, at 55, I can let the company of dark work that is born of my heart and soul live on without me, and I can pull back. My kids can take over, a different CEO can take over, because dark work is not about Anthony. It's about the human need for us to fall back in love with what it means to be closest and most intimate in love with ourselves, which is what you do when no one's watching, because that's with you. Because at times, I remember looking in the mirror and not liking myself. So I was really unhappy and alone because I didn't like who I was alone with. And so I didn't have this sense of peace and confidence. I traveled here in complete peace and joy today. Like, it's just me in the car and in the flight and just chilling, right? And it's not because like, hey, I'm great, but it's like I've fallen in love with that dude, and that's what I need. And then the next need that I have, what's next for me is giving my kids that. Can I help them grasp? Like my son, the youngest one, the oldest one's 21. He's doing well. He's got his things. He just finished track and he runs 110 hurdles, like number 30 in the country. So it's great to watch him do his thing, and now he's progressing in life. And I want to be there to watch him build and grow and create his life. And I don't need to be the Anthony show. I need to be his name's also Anthony, that Anthony show. And then Torian, he wants to play football, and like teaching him these things. And what I'm trying to do with my daughter too, she's a dog. I'm trying to give them these traits to where when I leave, I don't know if obviously when I leave here, they're dialed. And the way I do that is I live as an example, because if I don't continue living as an example, they won't think it's possible. But 2, I want to maintain being of value to them. As they progress in life, if at some point in time they reach a milestone that I've stopped at, I can't be of value to help them anymore. Personally, professionally, in my own growth, marriage-wise, anything. They're going to get married. They're going to have kids. They're going to do their own careers in some manner, business or no, I don't know. But if I stop at any given moment, I feel like, 1, I'm going to not be the best me, but 2, I rob them of having what they need while I'm still here to continue growing and building. So what's next for me is to keep doing what I'm doing. I run dark work. I run Speak to Freedom. I'm going to do that until I'm no longer doing anything else. I don't know what else I could do on this planet. I get asked to do little projects and things, and I'll do little projects and sit on boards and do stuff, which is fun. But it's never going to change the core of what I believe the world has come to give me as a gift to give back to the world. So what did God make us a promise? That this guy's going to lead the message of dark work. That's the promise God made to the world. What he did is put me through a lot of crazy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I don't like it, but I appreciate it.
Sure.
I had to carve out myself a chunk of friggin' stone to be this guy, but it happened in the dark. So when you see me, you're seeing a person that's just good behind the scenes doing stuff that's now able to step in the light with confidence and clarity and knowing who I am, how to serve. So that's really what I look at, and that's my gift to the world. I'm going to continue giving it, but I'm also doing it in a way to where it's my sharpening stone. It's the way that I'm still having to navigate. How do I build a team? How do I navigate conversations? Things that I didn't have before me, but my kids won't have to say that. they're going to have an example of it through myself and my wife. So that's what's next, is continue building an amazing world-class company and serving people at a super high level to be a great example to them. And then when they get to those points and they can come back and go, Dad, I need help with this, I got you.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk to somebody specific now in the audience that might be struggling with their identity at this point in time. Maybe it's because the light dimmed on what they thought it was. Maybe it's because they don't think that they're enough to do something else.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they're battling demons because they don't know what's next for them.
Yeah.
What do you say to that person?
There's this is the good and bad part. I'm an emotional guy, but I'm also a very logical, structural guy. So what I talk to, this is all theory, we'll call it, ideas. There's a very clear process we work with people through, though. It's not accidental. It's very well designed, using psychology to the way we work as humans. But I will say this, one, to that person, which is you are always what you choose to become, never what you are. So who you are, what you've done, it's happened. Can't change it, good or bad. Sometimes people do things or don't do things. It's a sense of like sadness or, a sense of I don't know, fear around what could be, or they just overall feel like they're just, they wasted time. They feel like a sense of regret deeply. What I've come to find is like, that is just a stage in life. And it can either be the final stepping stone or just part of the cool story that you decide to build later on. For me, I go make it part of the cool story. Just accept that it's there, part of the cool story. When you decide to change, do things differently, people are naturally going to not like that you're changing, but it's not because they want you to stay stuck or they want you to have to eat it. They just don't know this new person you're becoming. So realize the journey ahead of you to make that person better is going to tug at every part of your soul in uncomfortable ways. But at some point, the way you have proven to be who you are, you can easily prove to be who you are now in the future. So we can develop that person. How you do it's the interesting piece. The climb's the hardest. The climb is the hardest for everybody. And I've been trying to teach this recently. Like if we're Arizona, we're not super high in the mountains, right? We're not at sea level, but let's say that I'm walking around here. I live at sea level in the Bay Area, right? Walking around your house here flat, no problem. It's just as easy as walking around my house. It's just walking forward, right? The hard part is the climb. If I was to walk here, to climb up, or say I'm gonna go to Denver, mile high, to climb up a mile, right? That's the hard part. That's where the hard journey is. Once you get to a certain point, it's just as emotionally taxing as it is at the level you're at now. So whatever level anybody's at right now, when you get there, it gets easy there. Getting there is the hard part. And so if you can commit to the climb, it could be smoother. But here's how the climb works. We'll call it, this will be the most left brain stuff we talk about right now. I believe that the first thing you have to do is you have to poke around and figure out what the hell you've done to get here. Most would call it shadow work, right? And the difference between shadow work and dark work is shadow work's what you do to figure out what you need to adjust to make your life better. Dark work's what you do once you know. Most people go like, I'm gonna do shadow work and change my life. Yeah, shadow work's cool. What's going on back there? All that stuff, cool. Like, no, face it. Do some dark work to fix that. That's the thing. So there's a way we do something called roots and fruits, because I want to make my life better. And I go, well, what does making your life better look like? They go, I'm going to fix this. And I go, it's pretty arbitrary. You're kind of floating around. You're hoping you find something. I dig in and I go, if I talk about the same tree metaphor, I am the tree. This is where this came from. The fruit and labor is the tree. I go, the tree has roots and life has a bunch of storms. And if the roots are deep, they can withstand the storms. We've seen pictures of like these tornado towns, a big tree in the middle. The tree stood still. What happened, right? Yeah. Tree had deep roots. Not every tree is in place, but that one big old school oak that's just still there, right? Deep, deep roots. It can also produce great fruit because it has the nutrients it can grab from all the soil around it to pull up and make great fruit. So I call it roots, which is the base, and then the fruits, which produce from that tree. The roots for me are faith, family, friends, health, and emotional control in heightened situations. If that's locked in and deep, I can handle almost anything. If my faith's good, I'm good. My family's good, I'm good. Friendship's good, dialed. My health's good, I'm good. My emotional control, even keel, bro, test me. We got this. Anything coming my way, I got my people to lean on. I got my faith in my higher power. I feel good in my body. I can handle this, no matter what's going on. But if my wife, my family are like gone from me, that root's gone. I'm a little bit less stable. I can have good friendships and have a high faith, but like it's tough, right? Because ideas have good, deep roots. But then the thing is, when you have that, and that's not just about withstanding storms, it's about creating in life fruits. My fruits are career, education, income or finance, purpose, and escape. So for me, it's like, am I doing a job that feels like I love this job, but I'm in a place of purpose, doing my thing, right? My education, am I learning from life? Am I walking around meeting people, not just book smarts, but like learning from life to have wisdom, which is not just knowledge. Wisdom's connective tissue between executed information, which is the knowledge, right? So I get this education. Then from there, I'm going, are my finances good? Am I making the money I want, to have the freedom I want, not stress off bills every single month? Am I out in the world traveling and seeing this beautiful world, escaping the normalcy and monotony of life? Like, am I going to see the world that before this generation of human history could not do? Like, I'm taking a trip to Europe in like 2 weeks with a family. That used to have to be a boat for a month, and a guy looking like me wasn't getting a boat, you know? Like, we're in a space of life that is so beautiful. Like, go explore this crazy world. And then purpose. Can I wake up knowing that what I'm doing, I'm supposed to be doing here? It's a powerful thing. We've already talked about how to get there, right? What I do with people is I go, let's take a look at these. We'll number these, 0 to 10. 0 means it's not, there's no depth to it or no fruits. 10 is the deepest it could be, most fruit it could be in the branch. So then what we get to do is we get to look at that and go, all right, why is that number? Now, big thing is be friggin' honest, like be real honest. Family, be honest. My marriage ain't good, then that's not gonna be a 10, bro. Be honest with yourself. Like when I do it, people go like, oh, I'm a 9, I'm a 10. Why are we talking on the phone then? If you telling me that you're 9 and 10 in this, then you don't need me. So let's be honest. All right, this is going on. All right, that's the first part. So that's not a 10. What is it? 5. We can't do this for 10 more. We got to be honest the whole time. Like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. Yeah. Can't help you if you don't lower the rope to the bottom of the well. Like if it's a thing stuck 100 feet down, you can't give me 90 feet. I can't grab 90 feet. I need 100 feet. So the idea is like we figure all these things out. Why is this there? Being honest. Then now that we're honest, I go, great. What can you do to improve each of these by a value of 1? What's an action you can take or a habit you can instill? And what they'll go is like, I don't know. Okay, cool, pause. Like you got some ideas here, but maybe these 5 aren't. Let's go and look at people that you admire that have that trait correct in their life. We go and we actually do research in a certain way on individuals we know and see, or it could be your neighbor, it could be the teacher, it could be a TV star, it doesn't matter. Who's somebody you admire in some area that has that trait you need to look at that you can borrow habits and ideas from? Got it. Okay, cool. Let's just say we worked through all that process. You're now in front of you, you have an idea of like, here's what I can work on, here's how I can work on it. Does not mean you're going to change your life.
Yeah. Just
means you know what to do. That's your shadow work. What do you do with it? Dark work. So our process is called a dark work experience, by the way. This first work, I call it dirt work. Obviously it's white, it's a tree, dirt work, dig in the dirt. Then we go to dark work. The simplest thing I can say is you must design your dark. That's what we do. I got to design my dark. What I mean by this is, now that I know what this is, the most successful people I know, I saw your computer over here, I didn't look deep at it. You got a calendar. You know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Like this thing, it runs my life. Even when it's like not running my life, it's just family time, done, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm going to work on, if it's not in my calendar or your calendar, I don't believe I don't think it's true to you. I want to work on this. Unless you're a creative, I'll take that. Artists, creatives, they're different, right? Sure. But those building something, creating something, most of the time, if you have no calendar, you're just willy-nilly in life, man. Whatever you feel like doing today gets done, which is a problem. Because whatever you feel like not doing doesn't. So what I do is go, now that we have this information, we're going to structure it into a place you can put on a calendar. And I use this language precisely. We must make your calendar a slave to your dream and make you a slave to your calendar. And I've thought of different words, but slave feels really good. I do not want to do this, but I must. Yeah. Right? It's the idea. And so this calendar should be blocked out. We have a whole process of 6 to 7 weeks to do it. But what happens is now I have a calendar that has the tasks that make my butt pucker that I don't want to do, but I got to get it done. And so I show up, I get it done, and I move on. And the idea is identify with the action of the day, not the end destination. I do it today. And also don't fill your calendar with 8 hours of stuff you can't get done in a day. Start small, do 15 minutes, build to an hour, 3 hours of things that are new to your life, right? But what happens is eventually you kind of flow into that slide. It happens. And the way I can explain it's like, you ever gone to like a coffee shop, you're supposed to work for a couple hours, and then you find yourself 10 minutes in, you're still scrolling, death scrolling on the phone. Sure. Right? I've done it. I'm in there doing it, and I'm like, oh, I got to stop, and I put it down. Okay, computer comes out. I'm like, focus. The first 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like forcing myself to pay attention and focus. And all of a sudden, 2 hours flies by. Alarm goes off. Every task is done. I worked on tomorrow's tasks. Like I just melted away into it. I'm like, hell yeah. Okay, like different feel. That's how it feels, but expanded across like sometimes 3 to 6 months. First 2 weeks feel like that. Like first month feels like that. But then at month 2-ish, you kind of like settle in. It's a rhythm. I start feeling good about it. Now that I'm doing it, I'm like, well, I'm doing it. I did it yesterday. I don't want to not do it today. And I keep doing it. Once you get past that first hump of like day 29, I don't want to do it, but I look and I go, I've done it for 29 straight days. I got to do it for the 30th day. Oh, you do it. You're like, yeah, on day 31, I feel great now, right? And so now I keep doing it. Now it becomes part of who I am. Now it's just a natural flow. And then after 6 months, it's like, that's just who you are now. You're not trying to do a task. It's who you are to do this. And that is the journey that most won't do. So they first don't figure out what to work on. Then 2, don't do the design properly. What they try to do is go, I'm going to get dialed in. And they want to be disciplined to an emotion. They go to events, they get books, take notes, never open them again.
Yeah.
They go home and go, I'm going to be dialed in. I'm going to be super, I'm going to get after it. And then 3 days go by, I don't feel like doing it. It doesn't get done because you were disciplined to an emotion, not disciplined to a plan. Now, I don't know if this works perfectly, but the word discipline is like disciple and plan. I made this up. It probably isn't true. It might be true. I don't know. But disciple means to follow.
Yeah.
Right? Plan is plan, to follow a plan.
Yeah.
To be disciplined means to follow a plan, not to just be disciplined to nothing. Here's a plan I laid out. I'm going to follow this plan. And so most folks don't create a proper plan because they didn't know what to start with in the first place. What they do is they start doing things they want to do. Mm-hmm. I want to do this. Sounds good. But I'm telling you right now, if you're doing all the things you want to do, you will never get what you want. It's got to be things that are out of the ordinary, not normal to you, that test and challenge you, that push you through to a point where you get to the back end. And it was almost so hard that you have a depth of pride that's untouchable. It's like that whole the joke it's not even a real joke, but I say, what's the number one rule of CrossFit? Always talk about CrossFit. Right? It's like, why? Why is that?
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
When it's hard, I'm going to talk about it with pride. So I don't want to avoid the hard. It's that effort paradox. I don't want to avoid that. I want to lean into it. And when I do that, eventually, your brain is a cool thing it does. It optimizes pretty well. Now, the brain doesn't go and seek success and seek things, but it'll make whatever it's doing, it'll try to find the easiest way to do it. Sure. Like they say, find the laziest person to fix things. Elon Musk said this. If I have a problem, I give it to the laziest person. They solve it so amazingly. Because they want to be effective and efficient. Our brains can do that pretty well. At a genetic level, it does that. When you lift weights or run, right? Your body goes, I don't want to run with this weight. Let me get rid of some of it so I can run faster. Hey, I'm lifting weights. I can't move the weight. What should I do? Make the muscle bigger. The body adapts to what you're trying to do. That's hard, but it'll adapt to make it easier.
Yeah.
So if I want to bench press 225 and I can't, I build up eventually. It's your warm up. Why? The body adapted at a genetic level, right? Same thing that happened in your brain. I got to give to it. And if I give to it properly, it eventually becomes a thing I do. And then I guarantee that me and you can look back at years and go, there's something that you do now without thinking about it that at some point was like pulling teeth for you to get done.
Cold plunge.
There you go. Right? I'm with the house too.
Yeah.
At one point it was like pulling teeth down. It's like, that's part of my day. We just work and get it done.
Yeah.
Right? It goes from being hard to do to where like, I can't start my day and be me without doing this. Yeah. And think about how dangerous you are when that's who you are. When the 99% of the world is going, I don't want to do that today. You're like, that's just the first 5 minutes. I stack 20 things like that, and that doesn't even faze me. Mm-hmm. You become untouchable.
Schedule uncomfortable things.
Very much so.
I like that.
Yeah, but do it from a plan of knowing what you want to get better at. So you choose the right uncomfortable. There's more to it, but that's the gist of who I can. If someone goes, what do I do now? That's what you do.
Well, right. We're trying to get your life's work in like 2 hours here.
Yeah,
so less than 2 hours. Yeah. No, that's a really great perspective. In the spirit of perspectives, can I offer you one?
Please.
You had said that the hardest thing to do is the climb. Mm-hmm. I have a different perspective on that. In the context of identity, kind of what we were talking about, you've got your identity, and then you've got the identity that maybe you're morphing into. Mm-hmm. This is my experience, right? And so if each one of those identities is a mountain, the climb isn't the hardest part. For me, it's the descent of the first mountain. Climb's difficult, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
the hardest part is coming down that first mountain for me.
Yeah, no, there's a way. What you're second to is actually, so we have a quadrant process that's tied to, it's essentially, I call it the identity grid. And there's 4 positions of it. This actually makes sense what you're saying. Because so my brain goes, I'm here, I'm going to go there level. You're saying, I'm going to have to come down from where I'm at to go, which is, you can, like, for sure can see it that way too. The way that I look at it is there's an intersection for a lot of people between opposition and opportunity. It's just like in a day-to-day, right? Something happens, it's an opposition, or it could be an opportunity. And they actually do mix sometimes. You get an email like, hey, you want to do this? And it's like, I'd like to, but what if this happens, right? Whatever it is. But there's 2 intersections that have 4 kind of outcomes. The first one is a person that doesn't handle opposition very well, and opportunity scares them. They're what I call dreamers. These people are talking about a big game, what they're going to do, but never take action on it, right? They never do. Then you got somebody who is essentially a person that whenever it comes out and some opportunity comes up, they jump on the opportunity, but the moment opposition hits, they shut down. Call them dabblers, shiny object people. I'm going to go to the top one and come back to the one I want to cover. When someone can pursue opportunity because they know that opposition will arise, but they handle it well, that's a different person. I call them a dominator. And also, they know that when opposition hits, most won't overcome it, but they will, which creates their own unique opportunity. They chase both, no problem. Give me opportunity, I'm gonna go down, let's go to work. It's a problem, I'm bringing me to that problem in the future, right? Opposition, let's go. Hey, besides, if I climb this hill, I know they don't, I get the rare air, I get that blue ocean, right? I call them a dominator. Now, the other one's the one you're talking to that's very interesting. I deal with this when I go to coach companies like Amazon and different consulting groups, and you have these high-level operators. This is the person who can defend really well. Opposition comes up, they can hunker down, put their feet in the ground and go to work. But opportunity is an issue because opportunity scares them because it could detract from their current status. What if I don't look as good as to the world as I'm used to looking?
What if that mountain isn't as high?
Exactly. And so the coming down the mountain's it's like, I got to come down a couple notches. I don't know if I'm ready for all that because I want this new identity, but I got to start here. Oh, that's the dance of it all. So that for sure is a very hard process, but it's in the same pocket. Yeah. I would agree with you.
Yeah, kind of like a sunk cost fallacy. Right?
Yeah.
It's you've worked so hard to get to this point, and now you have a lot vested in what other people might think. And then you have to be willing to tear that down in order to get to the next level.
100%.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, it's very tough.
All right, we're going to move to close here. I got one more question for you. Anthony, what is a question that you wish more people would ask you?
That's a good question, huh? What's a question I wish more people would ask me? I don't even know. I'm trying to think of things. My brain's reverting to like, what would I like to share? And I don't even know what I would like to share. What I wish more people would ask me. Let's go to the work I do. When? That'd be a good one. When do I know it's time to make an identity shift? That's what we talk. That's my whole work. Identity shift. It's identity's the thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it's not an identity change. It's a shift. It's sometimes small nuances could change your entire life, right? The whole idea of if I travel from, California to Florida, you give me a 1 degree change, I'm going 40 miles south of like Orlando to like Lakeland, Florida or something, right? There's a small shifts. But people go, well, when do I know it's time? And there's a thing, like a concept I mentioned briefly earlier called an identity gap. And the gap is that pulling feeling. The gap is, I want this, but I don't have this. I'm working towards something. I've been working towards it, but I just don't have it yet. And so I feel like this. I feel like I might have to give up my purpose, or what I think it is, because I lack the progress. I've been given so much, maybe it's just not for me. And I go, well, if you want that thing, first thing goes to somebody have it. If somebody has it that's human, you can have it, right? It's that simple. I don't even go deeper than that. You can have it. So if you feel that gap, which is a separation between you and what you want most, and somebody else has had it, that is a clear, definitive, like red flag, we'll call it, like you need to shift a way of how your identity is operating every single day. There's some part of you and what you do that has become so dialed in and connected, like this is who I am, and it's all I'm going to be, but I want that. I go, you don't get that unless you become more. There's a statement I say is you cannot attain or sustain above your current identity. Habits, patterns, paradigms, all that kind of stuff matters. If you don't expand that, you'll never get the thing you want. So if you feel a gap, like I want this thing, I've been working hard towards it, it's not happening. It's not to look at more strategy sometimes. Everybody has nowadays more enough information in the world. There's almost too much information, right? It's who you are with it. That's the key piece. Who are you with what you know? Because a lot of people have this thing called shelf esteem. I buy the books on the shelf of my house, or I read it to the shelf of my mind, but it's never actioned. I never do it. So because you didn't do it, you don't get the trait or the outcome of it. And so, well, it's not who I am to do that. Cool. Then you don't get that thing. Because that person that has it did that. If you can adapt and do that thing, now I get it. So when is a question most people don't ask. Because they just hear like, oh, cool concept, but they don't think it's for them. It makes sense, it's cool. But then I start saying this, they go, oh, yeah, well, actually, I have been working for like 2 or 3 years towards this, and I haven't actually got the thing I want, and it doesn't seem to be getting any closer. And yeah, like I'm okay, but I'm not where I want to be. Because I'm not talking, like my work isn't for people that are like down and out in the middle of, like suicidal and everything, everybody. It's not always that. It's people that are ambitious.
Yeah.
Like I usually work with executives, athletes, entrepreneurs. Like those are the people I like to serve. These aren't schmucks. They're people that are go-getters. But the thing is there's something more they want, but they haven't tapped in to see what needs to be moved. And when I say a shift, this is also a piece we didn't cover, but the identity we have is not the same everywhere. Who I am with my wife is not who I am with you, with my kids, with my clients. It'd be weird if I was like, hey, what's up? Why, right? So it's differences there. Yeah. But the identity I have needs to be elevated in certain aspects. And if I don't look in to work on that, I may not realize how one's affecting something else. So for example, let's say for business, I want to have a bigger business. Okay, great, sounds good. I just think I got to work on the business side. Okay, well, let's look at the rest of your life. How's your marriage? It's all right. Okay. How's your health? It's okay. All right, let's take a look at these connective tissue pieces. Well, my marriage is not that great, if I'm being honest. And so my wife and I, we fight a lot. And so like, I just have these arguments. And because I'm having arguments, I'm not focused at work. So when I'm at work, I'm just not totally getting things done. I bring things home. So I'm at home and I'm doing work, and the wife gets mad because I'm doing work at home. And then we're not having sex anymore. And it's just, it's just off. And so that's nothing. It's my work. I got to focus on this. It'll take care of itself. Interesting. Not having sex, is that big to you as a guy? Yeah, okay. Let's take a look. Like, what do you think would be affecting it? I don't know. Talk to your wife. I don't know. Well, he's not taking care of himself anymore. And interesting. All right, so let's take a look. Like, you feel like you could be in better shape? Yeah, I used to be like 30 pounds lighter, but that's okay. I go, let's try a simple thing. Let's try to lose some weight. So you lose some weight. Wife gets attracted to you. She sees you working again. She's, a little touchy. Oh, I feel good. Like, all right, honey. And you sleep, sex a little bit better, right? So I feel a little more joy. I go to work with a pep in my step. Work gets done. I come home. I don't have any work to do, so I'm closer to my wife, and she's animated and joyous and fun. And even if I did make money here before, she's mad at me over here, so we can't even spend time. Now we just hang out and chill, and I'm loving my body while I work out. I come to work and I'm a monster. I get things done. I'm able to put more energy in. I'm more effective and efficient at my work. Interesting. Now the business starts to grow. Mm-hmm. See, it wasn't that you didn't have the information for your business or actionable stuff. There was other parts of your identity were making negative effects on that. Or maybe just the environment you're in, like the escape. It could be escaping groups you don't need to be in. Maybe the groups of people you're with, or maybe you don't go explore. Maybe the environment you're in is toxic. Like maybe your household isn't good for it. Who knows? But if I don't escape that space and go feel a different space, I don't have this different balance that lights me up again, is an effect. So when I look at people that go, when you don't have what you want in some area is when you start working on this stuff. Because the work isn't just the work. It's also going back and going, what else could be affecting it before we start doing the right work?
Amazing. Anthony, where can people find you?
Darkwork.com. Simple. Or AnthonyTrucks.com. Two of those. They're perfectly fine.
Dude, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
This has been fantastic.
Thank you.
Not only for me, but hopefully for my audience as well.
Hope so. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, man.
Welcome.
Be well.